To discuss this political standoff, we're joined now by Congressman Keith Ellison, a Democrat from Minnesota. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for having me.
14 million Americans are out of work. The president has put forward a plan to create jobs. And what do Republicans offer but to cut heating subsidies and stop funding NPR? Can you explain this? Because I don't understand it.
It's just callousness, but it's also the idea, the philosophical belief that the rich don't have enough and the poor have too much. And they believe that if they exacerbate that gap more, that somehow magically things will trickle down. But of course, they never do, never have.
So you're saying that Republicans want to increase the disparity of wealth rather than decrease it? That's their intention?
Well, whether it's their intention or not, it's the effect of their policy. But I can tell you that for the last 30 years, American middle-class people have seen stagnant wages. The fact is that for the last 30 years, we've seen people, the ranks of people who are uninsured grow. We've seen poverty at an all-time high, and yet they know this. I mean, Eric Cantor knows these facts as well as anyone, and yet all he does is just say, fewer regulations, more tax breaks. So whether he intends to exacerbate the gap or that's just the effect of what he's doing, I don't think it matters to the unemployed, the hungry, the homeless, the uninsured.
It's pretty shameless, isn't it, to go after heating subsidies as fall progresses and we move towards winter?
It is morally reprehensible. It is callous. It is cold-blooded, and it's actually pretty scary. Because, the fact is that we have seniors, particularly in states like mine, who are really facing real serious problems. You actually have seniors who care for children in their home. So this is a health issue. People devoting money for heat, taking it away from food. People who, by the way, it's just really a cascade of problems that are associated with cutting this one program that has to do with everything from food, educational opportunities, seniors. It's really quite an awful thing.
Incredibly, we've also learned today that John Boehner wants to triple funding for the Defense of Marriage Act to $1.5 million, despite the fact that in February, the president told the Justice Department to stop defending the act. And again, I just don't understand how they can find $1.5 million for something that is pointless, given the president's stance.
Ideological purity is the answer. The answer is that they have a way of viewing the world which they are absolutely committed to. And what I'd say is for people who care about a greener economy, more employment, better jobs with better wages and ensuring people, we need to demonstrate an equal level of resolve, if not more so. We need to get in the streets and call for an America that is a generous country, a caring country, where our government actually has a commitment to the welfare of the people.
But Mr. Ellison, isn't that already starting to happen in places like New York, Boston and Los Angeles with these ad hoc street protests?
Yes, and I want to tell you that I think the people who are out there demonstrating how they feel, I think are upholding the best ideals of American First Amendment activity. I do caution people to be safe and to respect property, but I am glad that they're in the streets calling attention to the desperate economic situation that's not new, but it's been around for a long time. Not to mention attacks on labor rights and collective bargaining, which, by the way, have caused the stagnation that we've seen among the American middle class and working classes.
Congressman Keith Ellison, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Martin. Have a good day now.